What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, the Bad Diggity Diesel, back with a New York Giants video. And sorry that the content's been scarce, guys. Just really not a lot to talk about at this time with the New York Giants. There just isn't. Last year at this time, we were talking about getting a new head coach. We were talking about Matt Rule. We were talking about Eric Bieniemy. We were talking about Robert Saleh. We were talking about who's going to come in and coach the Giants. And, of course, the same thing with the coordinators. So there's a lot more material to cover. Between January and February, it's really difficult to think about anything to cover with the New York Giants. I'm sorry that the content's been scarce. I love talking about the New York Giants. There just hasn't been much to talk about. I'd also love to do some mock drafts. As we get closer to the draft, I will. It's just hard to do a mock draft right now because we don't know what the Giants are going to do in free agency. Depending on where they go in free agency is going to depend on what they do with the draft. So especially the first pick, it's going to depend on a lot of things. There's definitely a possibility of the Giants trading back. And I can't see them trading up at any point. I mean, we only have 6 draft picks to begin with, so I don't want to give up any more. And we have to build through the draft. We don't have a ton of cap space. We have to build through the draft. Now, a lot of people want to trade back, and I understand that, but you don't always have a partner to trade back with. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Now, I want to talk about Kenny Golladay in this video. Michael Irvin says that Kenny Golladay is definitely the guy that the New York Giants should go after. I've discussed Allen Robinson as well. Obviously, we've talked about Juju Smith-Schuster, Chris Godwin, Marvin Jones. There's a lot of free agents out there as far as wide receivers go. Now, the Detroit Lions could definitely tag Kenny Golladay, but they just took on Jared Goff's contract, and obviously that's going to command a lot of money right there. I believe they only have $1 million over the cap, and Golladay would cost them $15.5 million to tag him, so I don't know if they're going to do that. I also hear that they're in on Marvin Jones. We'll just have to see a lot. I mean, there's a lot of questions as to what goes on, but Michael Irvin said if Golladay hits the free agent market, that's the guy the New York Giants should go after. Now, I have no problem with Kenny Golladay. There's definitely no problem. I believe that the New York Giants are going to get a wide receiver in free agency. I really do. This is where they have to spend their money. Yes, I know we probably got to get Leonard Williams back. It's very important. We have to either keep Leonard Williams there or go out and get another defensive end or something. We have to get some more defensive prowess on that line. We need a pure pass rusher, but Leonard Williams had 11 sacks last year, 11 and a half, whatever it was. And obviously, he was a huge part of this defense. He fits very well in Patrick Graham's scheme. It's obviously somewhere they got to put money there, okay? But wide receiver is incredibly, incredibly important. I would rather get a wide receiver that you know can ball out in the NFL as opposed to let's get Jalen Waddle at number 11 and hope he pans out. These wide receivers don't always pan out. We've seen that with a lot of wide receivers in the first round. They don't always pan out to be great. We saw it with Corey Coleman. We saw it with Josh Doxson. I don't believe Jalen Reagor is going to be any good. Too bad, Eagle fans. That's just the way it goes. But I don't think he's going to be any good either. John Ross was no good. We just see a lot of this. So Kenny Golladay is an established wide receiver. Obviously, he's a very big target in the red zone at 6'4". He's very fast, and this is proven by his average yards per reception, which was almost 17 yards per reception. The New York Giants have got to go out and get a wide receiver one way or the other. This is I've said this a million times, it's a make or break season for Daniel Jones. There cannot be any excuses for Daniel Jones this year. There cannot be, well, he has no wide receiver to throw to. Well, there's no Saquon Barkley. Well, the offensive line's so good. Well, we don't know this. Well, we don't know that. We can't have that. Everything the Giants do this offseason has to set up Daniel Jones for success because the New York Giants need to know going forward, is he our guy that we're going to sign to this big, long-term, high-cost contract? Is he the future of the New York Giants, or is he not? You cannot have questions after his third year, okay? You just can't. The Giants have to do every single thing in their power to set this guy up with some weapons. I'll admit, the New York Giants don't have a ton of weapons. It would be very nice if you did get a Kenny Golladay because then Darius Slayton could be a wide receiver too, which is what he's cut out to be, and he'd be much more effective. And then, of course, with Sterling Shepard in the slot, he's a top 25 receiver in the league anyway. If you put an absolute weapon on the outside of Shepard, go along the other side of Darius Slayton, then you're talking. And then there is no excuse. If he can't succeed with those, then obviously he just can't succeed. I mean, you're not going to have an all-star at every position on offense. It's just not the way it goes. Nobody can afford to do that. Hopefully you draft. And even so, if the Giants do go out and get a Kenny Golladay, there's no reason to say that they can't go out and draft a Jalen Waddle. There's mocks that have Devontae Smith falling to the New York Giants because there's a lot of talk about the Eagles getting Kyle Pitts. There's talks about the Eagles trading Carson Wentz. I don't understand how they could trade. The dead cap of Carson Wentz is $59 million. How can they possibly trade Carson Wentz and absorb that cap hit? I don't understand. All these other teams can be interested in Carson Wentz. They don't have to pay the cap. They don't have to pay the cap on that. The Eagles do. How can the Eagles possibly afford to pay a cap hit on Carson Wentz with a trade? Like, I don't understand that. Unless I'm totally missing what the cap is. I know the Giants got knocked with dead cap space when they traded Odell Beckham, and a lot of Giants fans are mad that we had to pay $16 million in dead cap when we traded Odell Beckham to Cleveland. So maybe I'm missing something. But Carson Wentz has a cap hit of $34 million. His dead cap's $59 million. I don't see how they can move him, but what do I know? I'm not a GM, so I don't really know how all that works. We also talk about the salary cap going up, which means the Giants can have a little bit more cap space than we initially thought, which means Kenny Golladay could be a great addition. Me, you know what I want to do. I want to bring in Allen Robinson. I want to bring in Kenny Golladay, one of these guys, and I want to draft Kyle Pitts. So this is just what I wanted to do. I've wanted to do this for a while now. I just feel like with a number one receiver and then a guy like Kyle Pitts, with Jason Garrett's system, he's back, by the way. I didn't do a video about that. I think we all knew Jason Garrett was coming back this year. So I just feel like it's the same thing with Jason Garrett. People talk about how Jason Garrett's game plan stinks. Jason Garrett doesn't do this. Jason Garrett doesn't do that. I don't know what you want Jason Garrett to do. You're the same people that are saying Daniel Jones has no weapons. Well, neither does Jason Garrett, right? I mean, what can Jason Garrett do if we don't have a number one wide receiver? If the offensive line doesn't protect Daniel Jones, if we have no Saquon Barkley, what is Jason Garrett supposed to do? Like, I don't understand what he's supposed to do either. So, give Jason Garrett the weapons, too, so he can utilize the game plan around a guy like Kenny Golladay and a guy like Kyle Pitts. Give Jason Garrett the weapons to get creative on offense, too. It's not just Daniel Jones. It's not just Jason Garrett. It's the whole offense. There's no doubt losing Saquon Barkley hurts us. That's our only home run hitter on offense, and when he went out in game 2, obviously, the Giants weren't going to be that much of a threat. They didn't really have that home run guy that could take it the distance. But if you add Golladay, if you add Kyle Pitts in the draft, which he may not fall to 11, there's talk about him going to Dallas at 10 as well. I don't want the Giants to trade up and get Kyle Pitts. I'm not that much in love with the guy. But if you could do all that and then add Saquon Barkley, your offense is going to be really good, or it has the potential to be really good. That doesn't mean anything. Those guys still have to go out and execute. Jason Garrett still has to call a good game plan. Daniel Jones still has to make the throws. And the guys, when Daniel Jones does make the throw, have to make the damn catch. We all seen Devin Ingram drop 1 million passes this year that cost Daniel Jones a lot of yards, cost him like 6 interceptions or something ridiculous. They still have to go out and do that. But at the same time, this would make the New York Giants offense very, very formidable. I want to see them address that. The defense balled out last year. The defense, to me, is good enough where it is right now without adding it would be nice to add a pure edge rusher, no doubt about that. But the New York Giants defense is good enough to win games the way it is. And this was with a lackluster offense that was 31st in the NFL. If this offense puts up points and has longer drives, it's only going to make the defense better, even with the players that they have, granted that they bring back Leonard Williams. So, to me, I agree with Michael Irvin. I think Kenny Golladay would be a great fit with the New York Giants. I want the Giants to go out and sign a wide receiver. That's where I want the money concentrated. Outside of signing Leonard Williams back here, which I'm an advocate of signing Leonard Williams back here because we know what he can do in the system. We don't know what Hassan Reddick and J.J. Watt. There's a lot of talks about defensive ends, and I'll probably discuss those in future videos as well. Defensive end like a J.J. Watt that could come in here and do whatever. But again, we know what Leonard Williams is in the system. We know how effective he is within the system. So I would just prefer to bring him back because we know what we're getting with him. But like again, outside of that, to me, all the money should go into the offense. You want to leave no doubt after 2021 that Daniel Jones is the guy, that Saquon Barkley is the guy, and getting a guy like Kenny Golladay, and then again in the draft, either getting Kyle Pitts, getting Jalen Waddle, because I wouldn't mind doubling up on a wide receiver, just getting him the most weapons that they can, giving him the optimal opportunity to succeed is what the New York Giants have to do for Daniel Jones, what they have to do for Jason Garrett, what they have to do for the defense of this team. The Giants are going out and scoring 27 points a game as opposed to 19 or whatever it was this year. They're going to win a lot more football games. Go out, get Kenny Golladay if he's available, get another weapon offensively with your 11th pick in the draft, and let the chips fall where they may. Let's see what the New York Giants have offensively in 2021. So all I got in this video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Like I said, I'll be live for the Lakers later tonight. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow. It's the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I'm out. Peace!